sheriff's office, we list all the sheriff's people. Jailers, we only list one. Quarter, only one. Supervisors, we list all three of you. E911 is listed under treasurer. Conservation, Chris Bass. Jackie Duffy as far as over there. Scott McDonough as far as his office. And Jim Bullock as far as his.
What's the difference between an incident of dishonesty in the auditor's office as compared to an incident of dishonesty in the treasurer's office?
It depends on who's handling money. I mean, I don't,
Well, that's my question.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
there isn't any.
Well, then why do you have all the deputies in the treasurer's office covered and not the deputies in the auditor's office? I mean, we do
Now,
payroll
wait a minute.
and...
You guys marked this. I didn't. This was marked by you guys of who you wanted to handle. This was a sheet that was handed to me when we did the bond.
But this is, that's what I was, he asked it in a different way.
Right.
That's what I was asking.
Yeah.
So I was asking
don't
if
know.
there's a loss in the office created by an unnamed employee.
But does money go through the auditor's office, or is it just basically?
Well, they do payroll and, yeah, and certainly
Well,
city
yeah,
drainage
right.
and, yeah.
Insurance.
Yeah, but actual handle cash.
Well,
and you got to look at, yeah.
Money, yeah, sure. I mean,
There's a difference between crime, doing something illegally, or doing something by mistake. Now, the mistakes it ain't gonna cover. You know, we found that out a few years ago when the city and the county got in and there was money that was, what was that on? Tax money for the water treatment plant, was that it at the time? That many years ago, but you didn't get it on the tax roll soon enough, and so money wasn't collected for the deal. Now that's a mistake. Now that wasn't anybody doing something illegally or anything, and so that wasn't covered at the time. But this is what was given to me originally, you know, at the deal. Now we can put it in a blanket. I can get you a bid on the blanket and say, okay, let's blanket everybody. As long as we're over $50,000 for the treasurer, the state's satisfied at that. So if you blanket everybody at $50,000 or $100,000, blanket everybody, blanket all employees.
I don't know that we need to go that far, because those who don't handle money, that probably isn't necessary, but.
Yeah, but we can add in, there's no reason at the time why.
My question is if Jim has an employee who runs off with $10,000, does that, at the end of the day, the
He's
auditor's
responsible,
responsible,
yeah.
he's named, is it covered or not?
Well, he was responsible for it, so it depends on who they give back to, you know, yeah, no. He's covered, like you say.
Well, he is, but he actually didn't physically take the money.
Yeah.
One of the employees did. He's named in the office. Will they cover or not? Do we have to have everybody named to have coverage?
Yeah, I would think so. If that person's got the right, if you think that person could commit the, you don't have to have Ann Lamont on there. We've even got the custodians on there. What would they?
They're not listed on there, are they?
Yeah, they are. I list them as one.
Well, I think we need to review the list and
Yeah.
get those on
Can I
that
see that list?
need to be on, and those,
Give me a copy.
and then look at it again, Larry. I think.
Yeah, I think so. It was figured out with employees at the time that would be
So how long has this been done? How long have they been doing the bond?
since 2005. This list, I mean,
Oh, that's the last list.
I think that's, well, we did no, this one came out in December of 2007, but that doesn't mean that we didn't use the same list. I mean, I think 2005 is when it got switched over. When we went from Allen to this.
What do you guys think?
What do you think? I think we ought to review that list and
And come up with it, and then I can, if you want to do it, if we're talking about a blanket, give me a parameter if we're doing blanket on everybody.
my thoughts were when I asked that question
Yeah.
is if you had a blanket policy and you had a $100,000 blanket, then you would have had coverage for anyone for $100,000.
Right.
The longer I think about it, it probably isn't necessary in the idea that
Like Peg did, and then,
well,
well.
anyone who handles money is probably necessary. So, I personally, I think we need to update the list, and then we have to decide on a figure and move forward that way.
Okay, let's do that. Right quick, like I'd asked Jim, did you come up, we need to, at this time, probably add the Vietnam Memorial onto the policy. We've added the conservation building out there, got it to whatever full value on that. But we do need to add the Vietnam Memorial on there. We go back to Memorial.
Veteran school.
Veteran, yeah. But isn't it just for Vietnam?
No.
Okay. The other thing was this morning, Mike Radell called and wondered how come he hadn't been moving forward. Well, I think we added two more, we were talking about the 8-9 hail deal
Forward
on a claim for the hail. He wondered how come they hadn't got back to him. Well, they haven't, they need to close everything first, you know. Well, they had a holdup because conservation thought maybe they hadn't got back to him, but I forgot about Grant Park. We've got two buildings down there, so I put that, I just told him to go ahead and put that location on there so he could check it the next day or so. Check the storage building down there, plus the one restroom building, because you don't cover the concrete buildings anyway, you know. And then the other one was ambulance garage at Lakeview. We got that one. So we got that one, got those two locations, so they're gonna quickly do that. Check the ambulance garage at Lakeview, check the other ones, and then they can close, because everything else has been pretty well. I forgot about those, you know, I forgot about the ambulance.
Well, I guess, you know, historically, we've relied on the department heads to report damage.
Yeah, I know, but you just, if I've got houses 4 blocks north getting paid for roofs, why, it had to be south, you know, would have had, and, you know, they need to check them at least, give us, and then same way with the, you know, it might not have any damage or show anything on it, but.
So have you contacted Scott McDonough to?
He was gonna call Scott.
Okay.
The guy in Des Moines, I gave him the number over there, and I said, call and talk to Scott. And he said, see if they checked or make sure on that. But he said, as long as the guy's in there, you just go check the buildings and get them done, you know. And
Because if they hadn't,
and he had to call Chris Bass on the truck on the conservation, because they had a truck that was out doing checks, you know, that morning and got hit. So the only one that you and I discussed was the salt building at Lakeview, and then the sheriff's car and conservation car, so, but, conservation, and then he'll go to Annans and get that taken care of. That way, they'll get it wrapped up, and then they can, because Mike said he didn't know which way to go with his, you know, as far as getting, work done, yeah. So, anything else? And so I'm back in your ball, you guys let me know, and then I'll get you quotes and see which way, and I will check to make, I gotta be honest with you, you can read these policies through, but like I tell people, I said, you always gotta remember, the big print give us and the little print take it away, but I've gone through policies and it looks like like Jim says, there's other exclusions at the end and stuff, and you know, but it's mainly to take care of it, so it's like a fidelity bond is what it is, the bond. And like you say, if the person isn't, and because we're covering 30 employees, well, the problem is they've got a list, and so if they come up and say, Jim is so-and-so wasn't checked on that list, I would say, no, they're not covered. So,
which, I mean, if you're doing it, you better be sure everybody's on the list.
well, and if you got two, the thing is, yeah, if you got 2 employees, like he's got 2 in his office, and that would change as long as he's got 2 employees in the office, then if it changed and somebody else was in there, then yes, they would be covered, because we talked about that. Did they have to be the named person? No, we want to know that on that.
Okay. Thank you, Larry.
Anything else?
Don't think so. We got our deal from ICAP our
Oh, yeah.
thing that we got a refund, thank you.
You bet, I'm glad you should mention, they always mention that because
They,
that's.
refunded us $17,597.13.
Which is, I think that's the third check.
Second of
Three.
three, that's the second of three.
I thought it was a third of three.
I think that's the third.
It should say on the back there that they're on that letter.
Because you've got it for this, this will be the third year.